Okay, so I thought I would start with an epic fail. If you remember last time, I'm going to back up just a little bit. I had this beautiful um, tunnel, and I mistakenly planted the wrong thing. I thought I was planting, Annie, you'll love this. I thought I was planting gourds that make the handles, you know, the dippers. And look what I planted. Can you see how big this gourd is? This is a huge gourd. Here's my hand. And you can see how huge this gourd is. It's
I don't
huge.
even know what kind that is.
Well, I've got to get the seeds and show you because it came from Baker Creek. Because remember, I was doing like an experimental garden this year. And here's what the little babies look like. See, there's lots of little babies still coming. Can y'all see that? And then here's another one. There's lots of babies still coming. See them? They're little. But I planted the wrong thing. And so my tunnel went down. So epic fail on that. And then I still have, I don't know if y'all can see it. This is a loofah sponge. Annie, I know you know what those are. Here's another one of those gourds. See, it's pretty when they're little. I have tons of loofah sponges, but look at my tunnel. Can y'all see my tunnel? The one that's left, it's bending inward. Again, epic fail because I planted the wrong thing in the wrong place. I also have a couple birdhouse gourds. So see, I've got the gourds coming for the next few years. And I've got some dried ones. I just don't know what to do with them until Annie showed us. So hopefully I will know what to do with them. Over here is some rattlesnake beans. I've still got some coming in there. Quite tasty. I wasn't sure how they'd be. They turned out really good. And over here I've never seen beets get this big. I think I might have failed here too and let them get too big. These are beets. I don't know if can you see how big they are? They're huge.
Oh my goodness.
Little too big. Here's something experimental again. Remember, this is my experimental garden.
Lori, you can always make, straight. There are a couple things you can do with the beets when they're that big. You can grate them and make like a coleslaw of them raw, or you can make borscht.
Ah, I will probably talk to you about that later.
Okay.
Can you see my purple Asian beans?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I made a mistake of picking a bunch of them the other night. They were about as long as my leg, so about 3 foot long. I gave them to my mother-in-law, listen to me. I gave them to my daughter-in-law's mother, the one that just lost her husband. I went over there that night because I found out he was doing very poorly. So I went over there to try to comfort her, and she's from Asia. And as soon as I handed her them, I had to put them in a big pan. She was so happy. She was like, oh, and she started talking in her language. But she was so excited, and she said she's going to cook them. So I was excited that she was excited. So, and then I've got some carrots over here. They're just now getting ready to be pulled and eaten. First year I've actually had carrots, so I'm kind of excited because usually they don't do so well. But these are my raised beds, my fun beds, just for fun. We're moving along now to the community garden, but I wanted to show you my butterfly and hummingbird traps. That's what I call it. Of course, I'm not trapping them. Don't panic. I love them. But I hadn't really planned this. And then I put these seeds in the ground just thinking, oh, I'll see what they do for fun. And I've got the most beautiful hyacinth bean arch. And the butterflies love it, but so do the hummingbirds. So I have had more hummingbirds this year than I've ever had in my entire life. So we're coming up on that. And I just let my zinnias go crazy. So I do have some phlox. I'm sorry, not phlox. Help me out here. I can't think. You all know what this is. Help me.
Crepe myrtle.
Yes, thank you, crepe myrtle. And then I've got some succulents along through here. And of course, my basil went crazy. But look at all the zinnias that just decided to come back on their own. This is where my pansies were. And I had a rose bush here. I still do. It's kind of making it this year a little bit better than usual. Maybe because I decided to do something about it this year and actually gave it some chemicals, which I normally never do. But here is, look at the beautiful hyacinth beans. I don't know if you can see it real well. Can you see how tall the blooms are? And it's just absolutely gorgeous. And it's got beans. And I ate a couple the other night thinking, I'll try this. There's the beans. You can eat them. But the hummingbirds are just absolutely loving this. And so in the evening when I'm super stressed out from working, I come over here and sit and enjoy the hummingbirds. So I call it my hummingbird trap just because They haven't eaten on my feeders much, but they sure love those.
Well,
And
how many plants, how many of the hyacinth beans did you plant for that? Okay,
4 beans.
cool.
Here's a picture of my hibiscus. And I had a ton of those. They're finally starting to go away, but I've noticed the hummingbirds like those too. So it's been a hummingbird year for me, which is unusual because normally I don't get hummingbirds that much. But this year they've enjoyed the hyacinth beans and the hibiscus. And I have a lot of Rosa Sharon, which are in the hibiscus family. They enjoy those as well. So it's been an interesting year. And I'm coming across to the community garden, and some of my neighbors are over here. Unfortunately, the ones that's been working the garden are out trimming trees, and they're not going to get to come, and I'm so disappointed. But you'll get to see the garden anyway. As you can see down through here is herbs and wildflowers. Lots and lots of wildflowers, coneflowers. And of course, the butterflies have enjoyed this, and the kids have enjoyed the butterflies. And right in the middle is a beautiful zinnia come up on its own, a red one, which I think is interesting because I planted some last year and I never saw them. But this year it came up and it's beautiful. So lots and lots of flowers. This is the neighbor dog. Say hi, Sam. He's been keeping, I'm so happy to have this dog. It's not my dog, it's my neighbor's. So happy to have him because guess what has not eaten the corn this year? No raccoons. This dog has single-handedly gotten rid of all the raccoons. First thing I'm going to show you is the watermelons. Can y'all see them?
Yeah.
These are the prized possessions of my neighbors right now because we got a bunch of Charleston Grays. You see them out in there. There's probably about 20 right now sitting, getting ready to be ripened. There's only been maybe 1 or 2 taken out so far that are just getting ripe. So they're excited. Kids are really excited because I think this is what they've been living for all summer. And we've also got some cantaloupes, as you can see. And they are planted right on the edge of the corn. And here is the corn patch. We got 6 bushels last week of corn. I'm just going to kind of hold it up here. And again, no coons have been eating the corn yet. And then on the corn, we have, you can see the pole beans. Of course, they're going to be late. They're just coming on now, just blooming. We've got about 4 different varieties in here. This up here, I think is, not sure, I believe this is leather britches. And then we've got, like I said, 4 different varieties of green beans, heirloom pole beans, because the lady of the house wanted, she remembered her grandmother having some beans that were just wonderful. And by her description, I said, well, let's see what I can find. So we tried to match what her grandmother had had in the garden when she was a girl. Here is what's left of, now it's maybe mostly a radish bed. As you can see, lots of radishes still here. They're looking kind of nice, but guess what they were planted for? Nice radishes. Yum. This was where the cucumbers were. I think the lady of the house canned, if I got the accurate count, about 64 pints and about 30 quarts of 4 different kinds of pickles. So we had this row, what was this row, and that row, and out of those 3 rows, that's how many pickles. And as you can see, we used the twine string and posts, so we had them put up, and then we used mulch. I'm very happy to say that so far, nothing in this garden has been sprayed with anything artificial. We use companion planting. I guess you probably saw the marigolds. I didn't point those out, but there's lots of marigolds all along through here, and of course, the radishes. They really helped a lot. Here is, you see the calf and the goat? Calf and goat have made their way out of the fence, but calf and goat are pasturing along the edge of the garden. That's their other project. They've got 2 steers and a little goat for fun. The goat is my favorite. And here is the tomatoes. Tomatoes are still producing pretty good. We've got some heirloom, quite a few heirloom varieties. There's one that I love dearly. I love this tomato. I like the stripy kind. I like the orangey kind. They're still looking pretty good. That one's got a little crack, but it's still edible. It's not rotten. So lots of pretty tomatoes still coming on. She has canned, and I didn't get the exact count, and I wish she was here. She could tell you. She's canned tomatoes by themselves, tomato juice, spaghetti sauce, and of course salsa. And of course, these are one of my favorites, the little pear yellow tomatoes. I like to just eat these for snacks. Come out here and work in the garden and eat you some tomatoes. And of course, the kids have enjoyed them too because they didn't know they existed. And here's my tired sunflowers, the ones that are starting to go away. We've got a whole new crop coming up that I hope in about 2 weeks will be ready for fun and pictures and whatever people would like to do with them. Hoping to get them stay here through fall, so that was the hope. These actually, the ones that we're looking at right now, they were all volunteers that came up on their own from the crop we had last year. Then we're coming through. We got lots of zinnias along through here, along the tomatoes and the edge of the bean bed that we're about to come into. These are the bush beans. As you can see, lots and lots of beans still need to be picked, still need to be canned. I think we've only got about 20 cans so far, 20 quarts. We have lots and lots to go. None of this has been sprayed either. It's all natural, no spray. We've got radishes that are also sown in here as well. And some marigolds, but mostly this was just good weather and good luck, to be honest. By the way, everything we planted in the garden was done by signs. I know some of you laugh when I say those kind of things, but my grandparents, this is some okra, some red okra. This was actually one of the trials last year, Melody.
Oh, cool.
Save seed and did it again, and here we are.
It's pretty.
So this is saved seed from last year's trials. Pretty. It looks really good, and it tastes pretty good too. And then over here, we got a new crop of squash coming on. This is our new crop. Our old crop is gone. New crop of yellow. I don't think our zucchini is going to make it. It looks like it was too hot for it. It didn't like this hot weather. And then this is our old corn patch. We're now using it for the cows just to feed them. Got a little bit of broom corn growing up here. If anybody knows anybody that can make brooms, I have quite a bit of broom corn left over from last year, and I would love to learn. And every time I plan a class to go over to North Carolina and learn, I have to cancel it. So it's kind of a joke at my house. I have broom corn, but no brooms. But I'm standing at the back side of the garden now, and I can kind of see the size of it. It's really not that big. This is half the size of what we have done in the past, but this year, it's been such a phenomenal year that the garden has done better than it's ever done, produced more than it's ever produced. And of course, we've had more interest this year, maybe because of COVID. There's our other steer. I say ours, it's not mine. It's my neighbor's other steer. I don't know if you can see him. His name's Bugs. Bugs is over there. And this is the back part of what used to be the garden. They're building a fence, as you can probably tell. And lots of wood chips, which this was an area that flooded very badly when it rains. This is actually a floodplain over here, unfortunately, where they live, and it's really not zoned for houses. So there really shouldn't be a home over there, but there is. And they're making the best of it, but we're trying to fix the garden. So hopefully this year we're going to turn this under, sow our cover crop, and hopefully have a better year next year with ground, because it needed quite a bit of nitrogen. It was low on potassium, boron, manganese, so it needed some work. And in a nutshell, that is our community garden. And I'm open for questions if you have them. I really wish my friends were here, because the kids really wanted to talk to you all and tell you how much fun they've had. And they've worked their little butts off, but I think they've learned a lot. And I know they're enjoying the fruits of the garden. Maybe not as much as we are, but they've learned a lot this year. And Brooklyn, the mom, the lady of the house, here's the other calf. He's getting out over my beans. I'm going to have to get him. He's out. He's not supposed to be over here, so. All right, Nibby, you're going to have to get out here. Somebody's left that gate
a wash station? Was there a wash station there?
It's my potting, mobile potting.
Okay.
I can move it around. And it does have water from the rain. We had a big storm here just right before this. And now it's full of rain. So it's a potting place. You can do potting, sewing, It's got some shelves, and it's movable. I move it all over the garden when we need it. Good place to store your stuff so you don't lose it. I'm bad about laying gloves down or spades down or something like that. That's a good place to put it. But yeah, it's a nice little thing. I actually got that for really cheap. A nice thing. So we got lots of beans. Anybody want some beans? Lots of beans. Still got a pick. Still got a can.
I just want to know if you're letting the kids break beans.
Yes.
Yay.
Yes, they have broke. That's their least favorite thing, I think, breaking beans. They like eating the beans. They're not too crazy about breaking them, but we've had a lot of fun with it, actually. Actually, we've had more fun canning than anything. We've enjoyed the canning. The kids get involved with that too. And of course, the first time I did the pressure canner, I thought the lady of the house was going to lose it because she's like, it's going to blow. And I'm like, no, because I made her watch Lamanda's class. You know, Lamanda Weston put on a neat class this spring. And I made her watch that first so she wouldn't, think I was crazy when I told her what we had to do. And she saw that Lamanda could do it. So I said, we can do it too. We can do this. So I've taught her, and then she's taught some other people because I don't know why it is, but people think you can just water bath beans, and they don't realize that's very deadly, or could be. So at least, passing the safety part along anyway. But this is a community garden, and like I said, this year, better crops than we've ever had, and more interest than we've ever had. Unfortunately, a lot of the families that normally would take part couldn't this year. And some of them, their health was not that good this year. We've had a lot of sickness. Oh, I forgot to show you the peppers. Lots of peppers. They love hot peppers, so lots of peppers. Lots of habaneros and lots of cayenne peppers. And got some ground cherries too. Lots of ground cherries this year. I planted some, and then they didn't come up, and then somehow they came up late. See, look at these nice peppers. Don't you want to take a big bite of that?
I do. Those are so good.
Hey, I can hook you up. They got the nice hot banana peppers. Anybody like hot banana peppers? And then this is all the, can y'all see the, from down there? All the way up through here is a row of sunflowers all the way up through there on the back side of the flowers. So they're going to be tall and hopefully overcome the flowers here in a little bit and be tall and pretty, and people will stop and take pictures, and that's okay with us. But they're already getting pretty tall up here. There's different varieties. I think there's about 6 or 7 different kinds. I save seed from year to year for the ones that are not hybrid. And this is what's left from last year. So all different kinds. Can't wait till they start blooming. Some more ground cherries. Anybody like ground cherries? Got quite a few of those. Like I said, I planted them. They didn't come up. Now they're all up, and we actually got fruit. So, any questions? We're back to the watermelons. We came around full circle. Look at this big watermelon. I'm particularly proud of these because the kids planted these, and nice size watermelon, as you can see. Nice size. Like I said, there's about 20 out here and all. From what I've counted, there's actually probably more than that as far as the baby ones go, but 20 big ones. Mostly Charleston Grays. There are some sugar babies out here too. And of course the cantaloupes, they're kind of mixed up in here. I don't know if that was right, Melody, but they ended up getting planted towards the end of the corn, and so they come out and get mixed up with the watermelons a little bit. We also have a few, I told you about the beans, we also have some pumpkins in here too, but I don't know if they're going to make it. I tried to do the pumpkins in with the corn and got a lot of blooms. There's some pumpkin blooms, but no pumpkins, so I don't know. I'm hopeful. For the kids' sake, I'm hopeful. Got quite a few vines out here, just don't see any baby pumpkins yet. Any questions?